Hey everyone, my name is Raquel. I am a local realtor here in Arizona based out of Buckeye, or well, the West Valley if you're not familiar. I really do appreciate you for watching my channel, for watching this video. And today we will be talking about, well, answering questions really and going over topics that people have asked over a little time, some common questions or suggestions that I have been asked, and I figured I'd put it in the video form so that we can go over it. So I have a little presentation that I'm going to show you, but I just want to talk about my morning. So this morning I had my first lesson in golf, and honestly, it was really fun. Like, super fun. I'm actually better now than I was, in my little short period of time of golfing. I am pro ready. So bring it on, Tiger Woods. No, I'm just kidding. But I will be ready for Top Golf. So if anyone out there wants to challenge me at Top Golf, we can meet there and show y'all a few things. But without further ado, I just want to start my little presentation. Not even little. I want to start the presentation. I want to go over this information. And if you do have any questions afterwards, which you still may because I'm just touching the surface. If I was to go over everything in detail, honestly, we would be here all day. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch me all day. So I'm going to go over a few things and for those of you who don't know me, like I said, my name is Raquel. I am a mother of three. I have a 9, 8, and 6-year old. I grew up here in Arizona. I grew up in Phoenix and then migrated west to Avondale, where I kind of call my city. Graduated from Agua Fria. Woo woo. Um, I am 31, going on 23. Don't work your brain on doing the math. Just know that I've been in the real estate business for 8 years, and my focus has been on first time home buyers. So if you're looking to purchase a home, you don't know where to start, you could give me a call, text, email, DM, slide in my DMs. But yeah, so of course, if you're looking to sell, I can help you with that as well. You're thinking about renting your property out. I can help you, and I can also give you resources for those who that's all they do is property management. And then if you're looking to rent a home here as well. Let's talk about everything that has been on your mind, that you reached out to me and said, Raquel, I think this would be a great topic. I really appreciate you for participating in that matter, with giving me some ideas of what goes on in your heads as someone into real estate or not working in real estate, but you're interested in real estate. So I do want to say thank you for that. Um, I just want to start off with this quote that I found and I wanted to share. I thought it would be really nice. So, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Maya Angelou. And I truly believe in that. Everything we do is a mindset, whether we have a broke mindset, rich mindset, positive, negative mind, whatever the mindset is, it starts with our attitudes, it starts with our mind, and we could change it. We can make it do what we need to do. Now it takes practice, of course, but there's some books and things on that, and I'm a resource for that too if you're interested in getting some information about that. I love reading positivity books because growing up you were raised one way, and if you are, we're not stuck there. We're not stuck there. So yeah. Now, questions I have been asked, or topics that I have been asked to go over. So, I was asked to go over some black owned property management companies here in Arizona. Asked if can I get a home close to my liking without building. First time home buyers tips and advice. Is it harder to rent or buy with a criminal background? Will I need to be with my company for 2 years or work in the same field for 2 years for a home loan? And should you wait until your credit score reaches a certain level to purchase a home? So these are all great topics that I'm pretty sure not There's more than just a few that have thought of those and wanted to know the answers to those questions, and we're going to go over it today. So we're going to start off with first time home buyer tips and advice. If you haven't purchased a home, that's fine. If you're looking to purchase a home, that's fine as well. Great. That's a super great, thing. Home ownership is very important. Oh, one topic that was not listed on there, which I do have a presentation for Airbnb versus traditional rentals, and I'll go over that as well towards the end of the my conversation with you. So let's talk about buying your first home. So you want to know, how do you start, how much money you should have. You want to set up your reality versus your expectations, credit, and a time frame. So your first steps, you see the screen, let's start this journey. Now you're ready to buy your first home, and that is very exciting and nerve-wracking. We are going to go over how to get started, things you need to do, things you should do in order to have a successful home buying process. Some tips would be, get the financing in order. It's not too early to start the process, so you definitely want to start as soon as you feel as though you're considering purchasing a home, and whether it's 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you want to start the process. You want to talk to a loan officer. You want to start seeing what the market is doing, not just Zillow and Realtor.com. You want to speak to a realtor so that your team, me as your realtor and your loan officer, can work together to put a plan so that you can reach your goal. So you're not scrambling at the last minute. So I would say with the time frame, if you're thinking about it, reach out. Let's start. It's never too early to start. Knowing your credit score, that's very important, as you may or may not already know. So having a great credit score is ideal for your new home, and having patience. So Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is home buying. You're not going to go out today and you find your dream home today and get your offer accepted today. It could be a process. You may look at 5, 10, 20 homes, and you may submit offers on all of them, but you may not get them. And then the last home, of course, is always the last home. You get your last home and you submit the offer, you see it, you submit the offer, you're very interested, you're waiting, and then boom, that's your home. So it's just patience. It sometimes patience is a virtue that we have to learn, but then also patience is rewarding when you get those keys in hand, when you're waiting for everything to process and close. It's very rewarding for you, with knowing that this is yours, that no matter what, no one could, well, not no matter what. Of course, there's some things in there, but this is yours. This is something that you're building for your family, leaving a legacy, or building, investment opportunities for your family. The opportunities are endless. So, with your credit, you just have to ask yourself, do you know your credit score? Do you know what your credit history is looking like? It's important to know your credit score, monitor your credit, and make your payments on time. When you are looking at your credit score, not only the score is important, but knowing what's on your credit, how long it's been on your credit, and how it's impacting. So if you have a new Navy Federal credit card and you have a Capital One credit card, but you had that Capital One credit card for 5 years and you closed it, it may have a negative impact on your credit. So you just want to keep track so you can kind of monitor, get things removed as needed. Now, do you know what is being reported to the credit bureaus? So, like I said, you want to make sure that any closed accounts are reporting either, accurately. And if it's not accurate, you want them to have it removed or have it corrected. So you want to dispute those things. Be sure you do not have negative accounts reporting. If so, get it removed, pay the debt or dispute the debt, settle. Even when you settle, just make sure you ask them, hey, if we settle, will you report to the credit bureaus that this was paid in full? And when do you do so? You want to ask those questions to these collection companies or to these companies that you're making payments to. And what score should you have to purchase your home? So the credit score requirements, Ideally, you want to have at least 580 to buy your home, or not ideally, but at a minimum 580. That will, with that 580, you will be required to have your down payment. You wouldn't be able to get the down payment assistance program, but you will be able to buy your home as long as you have your money set aside for those applicable, the cost, the down payment, the closing costs, which we'll go over as well. And then ideally, you want to have your credit score above 640, which is ideal place. 640 and above will get you qualified for down payment assistance programs. There's the Home in 5, and there's plenty others. The Home in 5 will give you 5% down, which we will go over. But your credit score being higher than 640 will give you, not ideal, but it will give you great rates on your interest, and it will also give you, which will go hand in hand with your payments. So if you want low payments, have higher score, great history. Obviously, there's some more information that goes into it, but we're just talking about credit right now. And debt to income ratio. Now, I don't know about you, but I had to learn the hard way on the debt to income ratio growing up. Debt to income ratio is what compares how much you owe each month to how much you earn. So your gross monthly income compared to what you're spending on rent, mortgage, your credit cards, or other debts. Things that are more permanent, nothing like your internet, cable, phone. Those are optional. You could cancel those. So that's not going to be taken into account. But things that are more permanent, like your rent, mortgage, credit cards. So you want to have a debt to income ratio, or DTI, 35% or less. That's good. So I put an example in my slide so that we could kind of get a visual, and you could, take your income and do the same. So you make $48,000 annually, which is about $3,600 a month. Your monthly expenses is $1,300. Now, don't shoot me. Don't be mad at me. I just put out some random numbers to make the numbers kind of match. Now, it could be different, higher, lower, rent, itself may be a little bit way more than what my monthly expenses is on here. But this is just an example to show you to show you what's being looked at. So out of that $1,300, out of that $3,600 that you are making each month, and you pay $1,300 on your bills, now you have $2,300 available each month. So that leaves the DTI ratio at 33%, which is good. So 33% is ideal. You'll definitely be able to get your home loan with that, and your great credit and your job history, of course. So your down payment and grants. So depending on how you and your loan officer decide it's best to finance your home purchase, you'll want to consider having certain amounts saved. So for your purchase price, sorry, jumping ahead. So again, here's an example. So if you purchase a home at $205,000 using the FHA loan, you'll need 3.5% down for your down payment. So that 3.5% equals $7,175. And then if you're using the conventional loan, that's 5% down, and that's $10,250 down. So this is what answers the questions about how much money should you have to buy your home. If you don't qualify for a down payment assistance program, something around those numbers, this range that I listed, would be ideal. I won't say there's not. There's rules on how you can get the money. You could get it gifted to you, your savings, your 401k. So you have options, but again, that's what you speak to your loan officer for, to go over those options and figure out what's best for you. And now with the down payment assistance program, that's when you have your 640 credit score, you're using the FHA loan, everything looks good. So you're going to receive funding to go towards your down payment and your closing costs, up to 5%. So we take that same $205,000 purchase price, that gives us $10,064 for down payment assistance funds, or DPA funds. Now that's for, like I say, your down payment and your closing costs. So you're going to use 7,100 of it for your down payment, and then roughly a little under $3,000 for your closing costs. So then that reduces how much you have to come out of pocket, which is wonderful because, as little money as you can is what you want to spend, right? You want to come out of pocket as little as possible. Now, other costs to the purchase. So we know that the closing costs, well, with this market, you may or may not know. Let me back up. So, closing costs, those are fees that are required to get your home closed. So, it's just fees that are incorporated to close your home. And that's where a title company will come through. I'll actually be interviewing a loan officer and a title company so that they can go over specific details so that you could, have a better understanding. But right now, we're going to keep it very simple. So your closing costs, you got your down payment and you have closing costs. Those are separate. So your down payment is not included in your closing costs, and your closing costs are not including your down payment. I mean, obviously, unless you're using a DPA, down payment assistance, then those are still not together. They're used separately, but they're just taken. Long story short, they're just applied at closing. So up to 4% of the purchase price. So it's almost equal to the conventional loan, right in between the conventional FHA. So you're looking between 7 and 10,000, about $8,000, $9,000 for the $205,000 loan. The home appraisal, which tells you how much your home is worth at this current time compared to the market. That is of average up to $600. A home inspection, which tells you what could be possibly wrong with your home. It's not saying that your home is not, ready for moving, that something's super wrong, don't buy it. The home inspection is really, the home inspector's job is to tell you everything that's wrong so that you are aware. So you know what to expect if something was to happen. So it's not to say, hey, Miss Jones, don't buy this home because this, that, and the other. Some things are outdated, which an inspector would go with you. Some things are recommended, which they'll always also go with you, but that's between $300 and $500. And the home appraisal, the home inspection, those two are due at service. So some companies want the payment right before they go to the appointment, and other companies want it after the services has been rendered. And your earnest money, that amount varies. It averages between $1,000 and $5,000. That's telling Mr. Seller, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, in addition to my offer, I am going to give you $2,000 or $1,000 earnest money to promise you that I am going to pay, that I am very serious with purchasing this home. So it is a part of the down payment. So that $2,000, if your down payment was $7,000, then you owe $5,000 at closing, but you're giving $2,000 up front. Now that is needed within 48 business hours after your offer has been accepted and you're under contract. And then one thing that is optional is the home warranty. So the home warranty usually costs up to about $500, give or take. There's many companies, several different companies out here that offers home warranties with great prices, payment options, and their policies. But this is optional. So it's not required by the seller or the buyer to pay for it. Now you can always request your seller to pay for it, but depending on where the market is, whether it's a buyer's market or seller's market, will determine if, it will weaken your offer, or if they'll be like, yes, I'll pay the home warranty so we get this closed. Right now we are in a seller's market. So if you ask for a home warranty, you're probably going to have a lower chance of getting your home. You can always ask, but it will reduce the chances. And that's the same with the closing costs. It could reduce the chances right now because we have more buyers than sellers in the market today. Job requirements. 2 years of work experience is preferred. You can still be eligible for a mortgage provided you can show that your income is sufficient, reliable, and ongoing, and you have a good reason for any gaps. So this is answering the questions in regards to the Should you be on your job for 2 years or something similar? Do you have to be? So if you get a new job after 6 months or less, all you need is to get your first paycheck within 30 days of closing your loan. A lot of companies, loan officers, lenders, mortgage providers, however your term is, that you recognize. But with the job, they really look for gaps less than 30 days. So obviously, this is just kind of like giving you some expectations, some tips, and things that guidance when purchasing your home. But ultimately, you want to speak to a loan officer and ask them, what's the best thing for you if you're in between jobs. So we're going to do an interview with one, but we do want to keep in mind that you want to confirm. You always want to do your due diligence. You want to do your research as well, to confirm information that is provided to you. So changing jobs can affect you getting a mortgage if you move to an unstable job. So if you're going from salary position, now you're hourly, but the hours fluctuate, or if you're going from a salary position to commission only, those things can affect you when you're in the process of purchasing your home. It could also affect you if you take a pay cut or have a history of switching jobs without an increase in income. So if you go from making $20, $30 an hour, but now you're making 10 to 15, you're probably going to have a hard time getting a loan to purchase your home. You may have to wait so they can see what's consistent. And then you can be approved for a mortgage on a part-time job if you have regular hours and you have been at the job for a while and the job is stable. Rent or buy with a criminal history. So you want to move, but you're worried about how your criminal background may affect your ability to do so. Now, this depends if you're buying or renting. Renters, when you're renting your home, you're at the mercy of the landlord, the property manager, and a lot of different things. They're trying to, comb through every applicant to make sure they have the best applicant. So this is where renting, yes, having a criminal background can negatively impact your ability to rent. Apartments and property managers may not accept certain misdemeanors or felonies. Some have requirements. If you have a felony within 7 years, it's an automatic denial. Others have, policies where if you have a violent crime against a person, it's an automatic denial. If you have money, different. It all depends on what the crime is or what your conviction was. So you just want to, whenever you're looking to rent an apartment or a house, before even submitting the application and wasting that application fee, ask before, find out what their requirements are, and go over your situation, because it can also be, especially with our homes here, they're not all of them are owned by or not all of them are managed by property managers. Some just have the property managers who look for their tenant, and then they go and the owner just manages them. So it's best to ask your potential home property manager their rental criteria. Now, when buying your home, completely different. Obviously we got so many criminals out here, drug lords and, petty thieves and felons that are buying homes. So buying your home is not based off of your background. So what's being looked at is you have stable job income, or if you're self-employed, at least 2 years in business, and you got the tax returns to prove it. Your credit score is ideal. Your credit history is consistent. Are the main factors to qualify, not your background. So if you're looking to buy a home, don't worry about your background. If you're looking to rent a home, definitely worry about your background, your rental history, your credit report, and you still have to have your move-in funds. So should I build my home? So you wonder if you can get what you want in your home without having to get it built. And yes, you can. Now, this goes in, has to factor in that you have an open mind and some creativity. If you have that, you can get exactly what you want. And if it's not quite how you like it, but you love the floor plan, you can always make changes to your home over time after closing. Not all homes are perfect. Some homes have, the wall color you're not a fan of. Well, you could change it. You don't like the floors, you could change that. You prefer the ceiling fan to just have a light fixture. You could change that. Things about the home that you can't change is the layout. You could repurpose a room. So if you want the room to be your workout room, of course. But if you're like, I wish your living room was in the back, you can't change it. But anything else, the flooring, the colors on the wall, the details, the doors, you could change that. You can even change your exterior paint within your HOA. Talk to them first. But you could change these things to make it yours. Now, if you really do want a new build or you want a custom build, that's great as well. Obviously, with the new builds, like in a subdivision, so most new builds have subdivisions. So, there's like in Buckeye, there's Sundance, there's Acacia Crossings, there's different builders, there's you know, um, Taylor Homes, there's all sorts of different homes. I can't even think right now. But you have different builders. So with them, the changes that you can make are usually with the finishes. Now you could choose your floor plan. They may have some options if you want this bathroom, some different options, have the stairs go this way instead of that way, depending on the elevation, what the outside look like. You can go and choose that. But if you want like this completely different home that's outside of what they already have set for their floor plans, you're probably not going to be able to get it. That's where you want to consider a custom build. So with the custom build, you're able to choose your own plan. Now you do have to purchase your own land. You can't build your own plan in a subdivision. Like you can't go to Sundance and say, well, I have my plan, I have a home developer, and I want this house on that lot. They're going to say, no, sorry. So you could purchase your own land and then you could choose all the finishes that you like. You could switch some things if the room, if you get it measured and that room's just not working for you with the size, you can always change those and you could speak to your home developer for that. And property managers. So in Arizona, we have so many different property managers in the valley that are able to, that have the ability to manage your homes. So when leasing your home and you're considering, I can give you that information. There's a Jeff Tipton out here in the valley. But one thing I want to go over with property managers is what they do. So, 5 responsibilities of a property manager: they screen your tenants, they make sure that your tenant is not a criminal, don't have, judgments on for the previous rentals. They may help with the property maintenance. So if the tenant reports that the garbage disposal is not working, they'll get the maintenance or they'll get someone out there for you. So while you're on vacation, they're handling your business. They manage your budget. So, depending on how you have it set up, when collecting rent, you would, you know, they will follow your instructions on where to submit whatever funds, where what account. But then you will also, maintain this budget with how much to spend on the maintenance, how much to spend on landscaping, what the funds you have, and if it's a large property management company, they'll have a team, maintenance on call and people that can help make things fluid and easier for you. And they also set the rent. So they go over what's going on in the market and then they rent, they give you that advice on if you have a 4 bedroom, 2 bath home, 1,700 square feet in Buckeye, they'll give you that range. Okay, homes like yours are rented from $1,700 to $2,000 at this time, and we could roughly get around here because whatever the details may be. So they help you set the rent and they collect the rent. So you don't have to worry about that. So it's really something that is convenient for you. If you just want a hands-off approach, you want to be out and about, you want to start building your portfolio, but you don't want to focus on like being a property manager, reach out to me for any contact information, any recommendations for property managers in the Valley. I'll be more than happy to provide that information to you. So now you have some tips, tricks. You have some standards and the basics that you need when buying, selling, renting your home. I really do appreciate you for hanging out with me today and watching my video. Please look out for some other videos. My next video is going to be answering the Airbnb versus the traditional rentals. So I didn't want to bore you with all, or not bore you, but overwhelm you with all this information because there is so much to going into, you know, property management, whether short term or long term. But I definitely appreciate you for watching my video. I look forward to you watching the next one. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. If you thought about moving to Arizona, but you're not quite sure where, give me a call, shoot me a text message, DM, slide in my DMs. But whatever is best for you as communication, I'm here. Think of me as your resource, and thank you so much. Have a great day.